Should we try again? Can you hear me now? Anyone? Anyone? Let me see if I can find you first of all. That's going to help, isn't it? Where are you all? And is my mic working? Thank you, SJ, for letting me know. Where are we? Ah, here we go. Hi. No sound, just noise. Well, now I've turned my mic on or not. It has been one of those mornings, I have to say. So thank you for letting me know. It has been one of those mornings. Yeah, it just has. I haven't even put my lip gloss on. Hang on. Let me do that too. Well, I tell you all about it. So what happened was I have had for quite some time an idea in my head about something that I wanted to do, a pouch that I wanted to do. And so SJ's saying, I wrote it in a hurry, it doesn't even make sense. Yes, it does. So I haven't even done all my pre-flight checks. The old Seams hand cream needs to go on as well. And then we're ready for a show. Right. So what happened was basically, yeah, one of the horses got kicked yesterday quite badly. So a lot of my day was spent helping sort that out and whatnot. We just haven't, you know, life goes in those phases sometimes, doesn't it? So Kai is now back from horse hospital, having had colic the week before, but can't eat hay, you know, or anything like that. So he's being fed, you know, every 2 hours through the night. So it's all good. We're busy. It's all good. But hence, things have taken a little bit longer. So the rest of the team are like, oh, come on. Why isn't this stuff being done? And I'm like, I have an idea. And it's going to be blue velvet. And it's going to be beautiful. So SJ's like, right, blue velvet. Tells everyone, blue velvet. Which it was. And I can show you. The beautiful pouch made out of blue velvet. Do you want to see it close up? Ooh, yeah. And look. Wow, yeah. And then what happened? Honestly, I'm so lucky that they don't all despair of me. Well, they might, but they do it quietly, so it's fine. And then this morning I thought I'll just make another one out of pleather, because I'm not sure if it'll work, but it might. So, you know, let's give that a go. Oh, how gorgeous is that? So now I'm completely stuck. Potentially my favourite ever Philip Jacobs fabric on the inside, because now I don't know which one I prefer. I love the peacock fabric and I love the velvet, and that was my original idea, but then I made this and I was like, oh no, come on, what's a girl to do? So I was just going to do pleather, and I have got lots of forms of those. And then SJ said, but we promised them velvet. I was like, oh yeah, well, no, we did. We absolutely did. So, apologies to SJ and the makes team. I'm sorry. It's just been one of those times. So do you want to see the fabrics that we've got? Should I show you those? Or should we say good morning to everybody first? Let's say good morning to everybody. So now that we have sound, good morning to Rachel and Fiona, good morning. And Amanda and Claire, hello. And Debbie, that's better. She says yes. And Rachel can hear you. Thank you. Good. Wendy's there, hello. And Karen and Tracy, hello. I don't understand this bring them on camera business. I tried it with my friend Rachel, who runs Crafty Monkeys, the other night. It didn't work. Didn't even ask me if I wanted to. Tony, just white noise. Can't hear you. Yeah, no, all sorted now. Sorry about that. Helps if I turn the microphone on, because as loud as I am, not quite loud enough. Jack's there, good morning, and Laurie and Ali, hello, hello, hello. And Helen as well. And Jill, hello, hello, and Shirley as well. Good morning, and Marilyn, and Christine as well. Maggie said, lip reading isn't her strongest suit. Amazing. Do you know what? I do really admire people who can. And people who can sign language, because sometimes I talk really fast, and I don't think I would ever. Would I have to sign really fast as well? I don't know. Would I sign as talk? Anyway, right, we digress. So, shall we have a look at the beautiful, beautiful kits? I'm so excited for these because if you could see behind here, I mean, it's enough clutter on the desk, but if you could see behind here, and you could see the number of prototypes and this and patterns and and bits snipped out of this and bits snipped out of that. It turns out it was not quite as straightforward as I had first imagined, but I've got it now so that it's nice and simple for everybody. So I've got some natty gadgets as well for you because I like a bit of natty gadget. So the whole thing about this is that it's beautiful on the outside, and then you open it up and it's stunning on the inside. And there is a way to make it in kind of any size, which when you buy the instructions, I'll explain how to make it any size, which means, and this was one of the prototypes, because like, how small can we go? I thought gift vouchers and stuff in a little velvet pouch would be gorgeous, would be absolutely gorgeous. But that was just a prototype, and like I say, but I will explain how to make your own pattern so that you can make these any size. That's the whole thing. So today we're going to work with a base of an 11-inch square, but when you buy your pattern, I will explain how to make any size, whether it be tilly tiny or whatever it is that you want it to be. So the whole idea is to have, yes, lovely on the outside, but open it up and gorgeous on the inside. So of course, because I've had the new Aqua William Morris, I couldn't not, could I? Because that would have been really rude. So I think the taupe and that is beautiful because it just, I was going to say, it brings out his breast, which not quite what I had in mind. Yeah. Oh, Heather, you had to go with the Mars template yesterday. You love it. It's easy, isn't it? So much easier. So yeah, that is the strawberry fabric in Aqua with your taupe. Now, there is a slight difference in price between the velvet kit and the pleather, because with the pleather you get a fat quarter. It's kind of like a really big fat quarter because it's 28 inches, because it's an extra long, extra wide fabric. When you take it into a fat quarter, it's like about 8 inches, 7-8 inches longer than a normal one. So I can get 2 of these easily out, but you will get ½ meter of fabric so that you can fussy cut to your heart's desire. Right, I'm not meant to have favourites, but I really love this. This is Bijou by Barry J. How stunning is that? So you've got your dark brown pleather, and then you open up to just gorgeousness inside. And I just think that's beautiful. And I'm not normally a girl that likes oranges and things like that, but I love that. So that's the next one. Now this is the velvet. This was what set the whole blinking thing off in the first place. Was that I had the velvet, which was actually planned for something completely different, because I do sort of plan things in advance. That does happen. It's just the making of it doesn't happen quite in advance. I've also got 7 shows to plan for Hochanda this week as well, but we'll gloss over that. And so this fabric came in and I was like, wow, wow, wow. When I saw it next to that, it just happened to be placed next to that. And I just thought, yeah, that needs something happening to it. So you get a full ½ meter of the velvet, and then you get a full ½ meter of this. Now this is 100% cotton, but it feels amazing. It's Art Gallery Fabrics. And their whole slogan is "Feel the difference." They use incredible fibers, cotton fibers, and so the substrate, the base fabric is always stunning with them. Absolutely stunning. So that is your blue velvet option there for you. And then I had a little bit of silver pleather left. And after the quilt kits were all cut up and done, isn't Jane clever? Wasn't the quilt just beautiful? I had some of this left over, and I just thought, can you imagine opening it up and you can fussy cut so that when you open up, that will be what you see? And I thought, yeah, that needs to be done. So there's that. And then this is the one that I made mine out of. So this is it Flowery Bow or something like that by yeah, it's a bit special, isn't it? By Philip Jacobs. Yeah, so Philip Jacobs has his own brand. Yes, he works with Kaif and Brandon to be part of the Kaif Facet Collective. But he also has his own design brand, which is called Snow Leopard. So this is one of the Snow Leopard designs. Stunning. And then Melissa White, who until recently really had not been on my radar. And I try not to bring the same fabrics all the time, but I have just fallen for this. And I've absolutely loved it. And it's actually called Sparrows. And Inga, who's busy cutting fabric at the moment, said, but they look like finches. But I think they're American sparrows, so that's why. So it's actually called Sparrows, even though they don't look like sparrows. But there we go. And yeah, so you get 1/2 metre of that and the big fat quarter of that. Or, and this is another of Melissa White's, and I'm not sure, I sort of heard a rumour that Kaif had helped her a bit with some of the colours of some of the, which I don't know if it's true. I have no idea, and I need to check. I'll ask him on Wednesday when I see him. But I just thought, yeah, you've got this tan colour down here and here, which works beautifully with that taupe. So that is your other option. Imagine opening up and have that lovely, glorious, happy, sunny flower there. So that is your other option. That's your options for that this morning. Ooh. So what I've done is, because I know that sometimes you go for more than one, sometimes you'll watch the demo and go, don't need the instructions, I know how to do that. So I don't want to put the price of a kit up if you don't want the instructions. So the instructions are separate, and so you're just paying for the fabric, or it might be that you've got other ideas that you want for the fabric. So that's what I've done today. And if that's, I think that's how most people like it. But if I've got that wrong, tell me. Do tell me. What I discovered, I had to unpick, I mean, there's all sorts down here, like bits of this, bits of that, different weight interfacings and this, that and the other. But on one of them, I had to unpick. Have you ever tried unpicking on velvet? I found this. I've only got a couple of these, and if you like them, then I can always get more. But this saved the day completely. It's an unpicker, fab. I kind of forgot, in fact, I didn't even use that unpicker because I've got my new unpicky scissors. These are my unpicky scissors, which are fab, and I'm very much loving these. And all you do with these is kind of lock them off. Whoops, try not to drop them. Lock them off there, and then, hang on, if I go down there you can see, and then you go in, because I always find that I try to unpick with scissors anyway, so I thought I may as well have a pair of scissors that are both scissors and unpickers. So I'd unpicked with those, and that was fine, but then I was left with all the threads, so I kind of forgot that it even had an unpicker on it, because I was all about the top. And it looks like a beehive. Oh, beehive. Look, you can see all my blue velvet stuck on there. It's like a rubbery thing. Oh, the descriptions today, second to none, aren't they? I'm sure you'd probably rather have none. But basically you just rub that along the fabric, and it pulls out all those little tiny bits of thread that otherwise drive you mad, and you have to come in and pick. And it's got another little bobbly bit on the bottom as well. Genius. Saved the day. saved the day today. I have loved that. I've only got a few of those, but if you like them, I can get more stock. Yeah, and I'll let you know on Facebook when they're back in. But no, absolutely loving that today. It's just finding these little things, isn't it, that helps. Because I'm pretty sure that if I've had a problem, then somebody else out there will have had similar at some point. The other problem that I have is someone who is 21 months. And that someone who is 21 months decided to lovingly drop my keys down the back of the radiator. Ah, they jammed. Ah. Yeah. And then I remembered this. I had one of these. So then I thought, well, I clearly now need to get them for you as well. And it can sit in your pocket just like a pen, but it's not a pen. But it can. Look, it's got its little pen thing like that. It is a telescopic magnet. Fabulous. 2 kilograms that will pick up. Just amazing. No problem. Oh, dropped my scissors on the floor. Can't be bothered to bend. It's okay. Got them. What else have I got around the place? Whee! Heavier scissors. Normally I have, well, my keys are now rescued, but these are brilliant. And the thing is, ladies, if you have someone in your life that loves tinkering with cars, I had to send one of these to my dad because I'd already given my dad one of these, so it wasn't actually for him, it was for his friend Roger. So Susie, if you're watching, Roger shouldn't have any problems anymore. Well, not these problems anyway. I can't answer for other life things. But imagine if you drop a bolt in your car engine, which had happened to my dad's friend. And so my dad had to go around with his and fish it out for him. So I've just sent Roger one of those. And they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant when Emily throws stuff down. Or, I don't know about you ladies, but my back, not going to lie, they've got a bit of a back issue. And when I drop pins, I can't bother to bend. You can pick them up with that. Just zzz. Oh look, there is that one down there on the floor? I will soon find out. It's actually, oh crikey, that's actually embedded into the carpet. That's no good, is it? So anyway, yeah, if you've dropped your pins or whatever, go and get them. So I've got some of those in stock. I love a good gadget. Love a good gadget. And yeah, so they are in stock now. But perfect, because the other perfect thing is, and again, this is another thing that I've had for years. And again, I gave to my dad so that when he's tinkering with his cars, and I have to take this off my, I've got a little metal trolley down there. And I think, Jennifer, you've got the same. And it just has, like an IKEA job. And I pile everything up on there. But these magnetic bowls are fabulous. They're 4 inches. And look, it's got a whopping great big magnet under there and in there, which means that when my husband puts IKEA furniture together and then tells me that the bolts are optional, they're not optional. They're not. They're meant to be part of it. I don't shut these doors too hard because I'm not entirely sure how strong it all is. But anyway, so I just put all of the spare bolts and things on there. You could put your pins, your needles, all that kind of stuff. But that was left over. Yeah, pretty sure I shouldn't have quite so many. And then I just have it on there. And it just sits on there. Hang on, let me show you. Sorry, Arthur, soz. God, you're going to actually see now, aren't you, just how untidy I am. Look, it just sits on there. Not even at a great angle. There's all sorts on there. Generally out of view, so you can't see how messy I am. So they're great. Got some of those. And something else that I'm going to show you later. Right, but lots of goodies on the show today. Just things to help you. Really, that's the key, isn't it? Things that make our life easier. Should we crack on with this? Right, when you get your instructions, it will show you how to make this any size, because you'll be able to create your own pattern just by folding a bit. It'll be fine. And you'll get it absolutely accurate. And then let's crack on then. So 11-inch square. That's what we're going to start off with. And today, what I will also do is, oh, that's 9. I'll make something out of that later. So this is still out of my out of my very first fat quarter. So we're still going strong on that, which is a bit good. So let's just trim that back. Anyway, look, I've blithered on about everything that's been going on for me. How are you? Have you had a good weekend? Because the weather was quite nice, wasn't it? I realised. Now, you see, this is why you should always just make sure that you take your... Still haven't changed the blade, have I? You should always just move the fabric away to make sure that it's been cut, rather than trying to reposition it under your stripology. That one again can go with that one. I shall make something else. And then let's make this into a good square. Quite important that the cutting is done accurately, hence obviously going for the old stripology. But you see, you're going to have lots of little bits like that. So if you can measure up and make things the right size or different sizes or whatever, then you're laughing. And what you can actually do is make your pattern from whatever size fabric you have left over, rather than going, I have to have a piece of fabric this big. You can go, I've got a piece of fabric this big. Now let's make it into this. So square, 11 inches. And now for, here it is. This is the reason that you're getting 1/2 metre, because you might want to fussy cut, which I did, which is why when you open it, you have, oh, I'm quite proud of this, can you tell? You've got him peeping out. So that's the whole reason that you've got far more fabric than you need, is so that you can fussy cut to your heart's desire. You have to realise that when you do this, you're going to be working with your fabric like that, which obviously, hang on, where's prototype number 1? Oh, can't find it. Yeah, so on my first make, I forgot that, and all of, it went the wrong way. Like I said, I've been working on this for a while now. Why don't I just use somebody else's pattern rather than insisting on making my own? Because I always think it's going to be easier. I'll just do it myself, be easier. I don't really like reading other people's instructions. I'll just make my own. Yeah, how's that working out for me today, right? Anyway, so when you come to cut out your fabric, that's where I was at, isn't it? When you come to cut out your fabric, just have a think about what's going to be at the top. So do I want, this time I might have this at the top, because I'm with a seam allowance, I'm going to not quite have his head, and he's a little bit too low there. But when I open that up, yeah. So I'll take my template and just fold that back and check that what I'm seeing is what I like. Absolutely beautiful. And like I say, you'll have made your template. And then all I did was just mark where the corners were and mark, this is important, mark these V's, because that V placement was, V important. Yep. Yeah, I'm going there with a bad joke, sorry, this morning. So mark off these V's. And then you will cut that out. But do remember to mark off those V's. That is crucial. And then, you see, sometimes in life, it's not the stripology that I go for. It's going to be this one. Getting an outing. If you English paper piece, then this fabric is an absolute dream, because, you know, you're going to have loads left over. Where's my other mark? Here to there. And then spin it around. To there. Ooh. And then so all I'm doing is just lining up those corner marks that I measured. There to there. And there we go. Pop that to one side. And I could get another one out of there. And I still had pleather left over if I wanted to do some smaller ones. Yeah. Oh, you could make them nesting. That would be amazing. Now, the other thing that I had been playing with all of these was interfacing and whether or not I wanted any, and if so, where. So I tried H640 all over. That was this one, this version. Bump, 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 bump. And it, you know, it gives, okay, so this is an early version. This is an early prototype. So the corners and whatnot aren't great. So it's lovely. It's lovely. So that's an option if you want it sort of plush. So whatever, so basic stabilizers are one of those things that are quite a personal choice, I think. So in this one, I haven't put anything in this one at all. And that, so it's quite malleable, you know, that's fine. And also this one, excuse me, this one doesn't, so that, I think the velvet needs something, whether, and I'm going to try now a medium weight and I'll show you the difference. So that has nothing in, whereas this had your H640, let me just, that one had your H640, I haven't folded that very well, bink, bink. So you can tell the difference, can't you? There. So yeah, it's down to personal preference. It's down to what you want to use it for as well. But if you are interfacing, now's the time. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to do it onto my cotton, onto the back of my cotton. Velvet gets everywhere. If you ordered the medium weight interfacing from last week, it is coming in today. There was a delay on it. So either you might be waiting for your order, because I was told it would be in earlier. Same old, same old. I'm getting a little bit bored of the old COVID. It'll be here and then not. Yeah, so hopefully that'll be in today, and then I can get all of those orders out if you are waiting for your medium weight interfacing. So apologies for that. The super light I had here, the medium, like I say, was all on order. It's taken forever. Some things just are, aren't they? Okay. So just press that on, and again, you know, your Teflon sheet, brilliant. Just pop it over the top, and then it doesn't matter. You're not going to damage anything, your iron or anything else. Oh, the other thing that is still meant to be coming in stock and hasn't is the lint magnets. So I haven't forgotten that some of you have ordered the lint magnets. They were meant to have been here weeks ago, but they were in the shipment that was stuck in the docks because they hadn't filled out the paperwork properly. Genius. And we keep on smiling. Yes, we do. So when you've got that, where's my... The only reason that because I've got my one here, and I was just wondering if that would work to take that off my pressing mat. And it's meant to be for your cutting mat, but actually looks quite nicely. We'll have a bit of that. Because I'm not going to lie, the velvet likes to shed quite happily. Now, let's pop these. Here we go. That way round. And I'm just going to put a quick clip in each corner. Not that I'm cutting it. Not yet. Well, I'm not sewing it. I'm going to just nip out those little V's. Okay. So just snip those there and there. There and there. Oh, that goes into his tail. Do you know what, on that one, I will go back in and double check my markers, because it's tricky to see on his tail. Yeah, there we go. Like I say, these are quite important, / really important, so do get it right. Yeah, I can afford to take a little bit more off there and there. Oh, yeah, I can hear Captain Small from upstairs. It's very tempting because obviously Emily's at home. Do you remember the British Empire? Did anybody ever watch the British Empire? I just wonder sometimes if I could just like stick her in a drawer under here. Would anybody notice? Would anybody mind? Now, I have used heavy duty snaps on this and with the velvet. And then with this one, I just used the little plastic cam snaps because that was just the little one. but these are the heavy duty ones. I've got starter kits and refills. I spent ages on sewing quarter selling these and never actually took one out of the packet and showed you how to use them. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to take a moment to show you today how to use these. Now, if you want to pop another little bit of reinforcement in that corner, have a look and decide which your top corner is going to be. And if you want to put another little bit, or if you want to get a little bit of H640 or something extra, I've got some down there. Yeah, I've got a little snippet of H640 there. Then just pop that on. It doesn't necessarily need it. We're getting into personal preference. Let me show you. This doesn't have anything. It's not even interfaced. This isn't even interfaced, and it all works. This is fine down here because look, you go through all of those layers when you put the snaps on, all 3 layers. That's what holds this whole thing together. But if you did want another extra layer of something on there, then do that now. And you will put it up in that very top corner, just so I'm leaving space for the seam allowance either side, and then just add that on. I'll try it. I haven't needed it, but I'll try it. And I'll show you. It's not in the instructions, but I'll show you, and then if you want to add it in, then you can. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So now we go right sides together. Clip. Get those little mini clips out and clip all the way around. Take the time to do it. What I'd say is clip opposites. Here we go. And then things don't shift quite as much. So clip all the way round. And then decide, I mean, obviously now I'm going to go in and I'm going to sew from this top thing. So here's the other thing. Get your, oh, hang on, wrong camera angle. Get your itty bitty ruler or one of the small creative grids, and on these corners, mark your 1/4 inch. Okay, you're going to sew at 1/4 inch. So what I would say to you is mark them with a pen so that you know exactly where you're going to. All right. So just mark that in there. It's really easy, isn't it, to think when you're sewing, oh no, I'll know. Trust me, I did it this morning. It'll be fine, I know. But when you don't, the corners are off. So let's get this right now. That would be my absolute top tip for you this morning. So as you can see, I've marked my 1/4 inch on all of those, and then we get to sew. Have a think. Imagine that's going to be your top one there. So then these will fold over. So I would leave your turning through gap on one of these, probably down the bottom. So what I would suggest you do is start on one of those, and we're just going to go round. So I would leave, like I say, I'd leave that turning through gap, and then off we go. You need to leave it somewhere, so leave it on one of the there we go, that's why, look at that, that's going to give me a perfect 1/4 of an inch as I go. Yeah, you've got to have a turning through gap somewhere, so do it on one of the sides that folds in that you're not going to notice. Oh, one more, there we go. I have my machine set so that every time I stop, the foot is lifted, which is fabulous. And also with this machine, I'm not sure, I need to look to see if it does it with the DX7, but certainly the NX7, what it does do, just check, I have sewn that, yeah. What this does do is when I'm sewing like this, when it lifts that foot pedal, it also drops the feed dogs so that it doesn't catch on my fabric when I want to turn. So now I'm in the corner, the feed dogs have dropped so that I can turn that without catching my fabric, which if I were working, I mean it's pleather so it doesn't matter, but if I was working with something delicate for my dressmaking, that is something that I would be like, yay! Genius. And so we go round and round and round, basically, as you can see. Spin it. Here we go, we're nearly there, everybody. Oh, there we go. And I'm following the 1/4 of an inch that I drew on. And if I think I go too far, I just go back a step rather, press the back button. That's what I mean. You all know what I mean, don't you? Which is helpful. Okay, so then I'm just going to do a few little stitches here. I'm on the side that I started. I'm going to do that locking stitch. And we're all good. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to these bits and I'm going to cut up to, but not into that V. Okay. I'm going to cut right up to my stitch line, but be careful you don't go into your stitches. All right, so I've done that, and then I'm just going to trim those seams back as much as I can kind of get away with. So again, having good scissors, really important. And I'm only doing that in this bit, but I've trimmed, oh, one more, and I'll show you. So I've trimmed right up to that seam line, that's, and then trimmed that seam line down. Okay, and then you get all of that out of the way. Then we get to turn it through. Ooh, love, love, love this. Furthest corner, remember, go to that furthest corner. Actually, do you know what else we need to do? We need to snip miter those corners. Nearly forgot. So busy snipping everything else. There we go. And then go into that furthest corner. And if you get hold of the furthest corner and pull it through, then everything else just follows. Stuff. Yeah, looking good, right? Looking really good. And then just take yourself a moment to ease out all those corners. If you've got the prim turning through tool, get your sticky bit and just gently ease into those corners. Not too hard. You don't want to go through your stitches. But when you get to those corners, I tend to run my finger along the seam first, and then I go in. If I can't get the rest out, then I go in with the pointy tools. But then I know that I've kind of got to everywhere, got everything out a bit. See, there's another little corner there. It's those V's that you want to make sure are nice. Just have a little smooth out. Go back in with your stick. And make sure you're happy with all those corners. But like I say, go gently. Ease them out. We're going to top stitch, so it's quite important that you've got these out, because it will make your top stitching life a lot easier. You see, oh look, completely haven't got that one out at all. And then just run that little stick along through there, checking that you've got all those little corners out. So there are quite a few because you've got the V's as well in there. Tuck that under there, and I would just clip that for now. Don't want to use pins with the pleather. If you can avoid it, then don't. Because it doesn't always ping back quite as happily as you would like. So I'm just going to pin pop those clips very gently on the edge there. Like so. Pop my prim turny tool away. So it should look like this. A few clips hanging off the edge. And then if you want to, obviously from the fabric side, just press that very gently. Making sure that you've got the thing where you want it to be. Obviously don't go in with a really hot iron and linger, because the pleather is, well, yeah, not going to like that basically. So this, if we remember, was my top edge, so that's what I'm going to be opening out to when we do it. So it'll open to that. which I think is quite beautiful. What I want to do, so you can see the difference with these, and again, this is now again personal preference. So and I probably will, I probably would, that is the velvet without the top stitching. That's the pleather with the top stitching. It just, for me, it just makes it a little bit smarter, but I wasn't sure, and that was just a prototype with the velvet. Lengthen your stitch length. I'd take it up to at least 3, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to top stitch, which will encase that top part there. Okay, so this was the side that I started on. And again, I'm just going to go, I say top stitch. Okay. A little stitch to hold there. And this just means by doing this that you won't have to come in, if you catch it right, and hand sew that bit. And this is why I said to you, go on, do your turning through bit on one of the sides that you're not going to see as much. Would always be my advice, because then I'm going to go in with a 1/4 of an inch top stitch, because then what I end up with is, it's almost like a reverse French seam. You encapsulate your seam and it kind of gives an extra ridge, an extra little bit of little extra bit of smartness, I guess. Down we go. So this is a pretty simple make, really. And it's going to look stunning in any fabric choice that we've got on the show today. And the only reason that I've gone for this again is because I didn't want to eat into the stock for you guys, because I'm quite limited on some of them. I don't want to be like, well, you know, I'll have them all. As tempting as it is, I have to say. I'm sure they gain about 4 more sides when you start top stitching. Down we go into that corner, back up, there we go. So that's it, top stitched all the way round. Yeah, it makes a difference, doesn't it? It really does make it look really smart. And then just here. Oh gosh, I just realised. When I did this earlier, I've done it the wrong way around. I used a grey on there because it sort of goes with everything, disappears, and I put a navy in the top, and I've done it the other way around, so I've got that lovely navy there, but I've got that grey now there. Actually, that looks quite smart. I quite like that, going around there. Attention to detail, Natasha McCarthy, what are you doing? I feel like it's been quite a long morning already. So we've now got this like this. This like great description. We've got this like this, you know. I mean, what else do you need to know? That's my top one because, I mean, have a look. If there's one that you look at and you go, actually, I prefer it like that, then do. But that is going to be my top one. So, with that at the top, I will fold these in. And what those little bits cut out mean is that I don't have bulk there. And that was what working that out was the bit that took the time. And it also gives you a guide. So then everything meets really neatly in the middle here. You see that's all going to line up beautifully. Those are going to be folded. Now, here's the thing. I didn't stitch those in place. You can go in, you can hand stitch them in place if you want. You could go in with your Powertex and you could just run a little bit of glue along there. It pretty much depends as to what you're going to put in there. But when that is sealed there, you can see like it's going to have to work hard to get out. If you're keeping valuables, then obviously sew it, hand stitch it, or glue it. And again, if you've got the leather scrap bags, then this is a fabulous make with your leather scrap bags. So all we're going to do, using those cut out bits there as the guide for folding, is fold those over. And again, you know, that was the one that I top stitched, so I will just pop that one over the top. And I'm never going to see it. Never going to see it. Line everything up beautifully there. Pop a clip. To hold all of those in place there. Okay. So everything is exactly where I want it to be, and it's clipped in place. Now, do you have heavy duty snaps in your life? Because if you don't, you need them now. They come with, basically you just add a hammer. There we go. Woke up the entire household this morning, hammering merrily away. Oh, they love me. So, if you already have one of these sets, then you'll have all the tools and you'll be absolutely fine, and the instructions are on the back. I'm going to assume you've never worked with these before and show you. Right, this is what you will hammer onto. And you can see there's some little circles there on that, just where I've hammered. There you go, where I've hammered on earlier. These are your tools that come in your starter kit. This has two sides to it, and you'll use this when you fasten everything in place. So that's for one side, and then that's for the smooth top side. So we'll put that to one side. Now, this is basically an awl with a top there for you to hammer, and hang on. This is an awl that is the right size. I might have used this quite a lot this morning. Oh, doesn't matter, it'll still work. Anyway, so that's what we're going to put. That's what we're going to hammer on first, because those that little circle there is sharp-ish. You've got two in here. You want to go with that one. Let me show you. You see the difference in the edge? That one with the circular edge there, not this one. So that one, as you see, has got a different base. that's going to splay everything out when we hammer to fasten. But this one is just going to make the holes through our fabric so that we know where to go. And I'm going to hammer it onto that. Okay, come back over here. So what we do now, remember we've clipped everything in place, pop that little round thing underneath there. Now, I would like my brass fitting to go centrally there. So I just place that there, give it a goodly bash, and that has gone through all of those layers. Let me show you. Give me a hole through all of those. So now I will take this bit, which teams with that bit. Now all the instructions are on the back there, but those two are a pair. Took me a little while this morning to work all of this out because when I opened the packet they shot everywhere, so I had to sort of organise them again. So all I do is put that through there, fold across, put that one there, bring that one up from the bottom and put that there, and that has put everything in the right place. So now that bit is going to go over there like so. I got that. Like so. Then that is like that. So it's trying to do it at an angle with everything falling off. So that's going to go on there like that. That will then go onto there, and you will hammer that. But first, oh no, where's the other little metal thing? Have I pushed it off somewhere? Oh no, what have I done with it? Hang on. Somewhere I had that other bit, didn't I? Don't go losing it all. Keep it all to, there it is, under there. So the side with the little sticky uppy bit at this point is what you need. So that bit there sits onto that bit there, which then has everything piled up onto there, that bit there, and hammer on the top. That's how they layer, okay? And if you're worried, pop your little plastic thing in there so that you don't damage your fabric. That's it, done. Seriously, how smart is that? Good, isn't it? So now we need to know where that needs to shut to, okay? So what I suggest you do is a very old-fashioned shut it and press, and what you'll get is a little indentation, and then follow the same thing, make your hole. So I'm going to pop that how I want that to be, flip the lid over the top, sort of if I press my finger on there, then I can, it sort of just makes a little dent. So I'll pop a mark right in the middle of that, and then I'll know. Now remember, blue thing underneath. It does make a difference putting the blue thing underneath, because I started off doing it just on my cutting mat, thinking it's fine, I've got a cutting mat, it's fine. No. So all, pop that over that mark I just made. Couple little bangs. I'm going to do another one because of course I've got that interfacing in there as well. Yeah, you'll know because the blue bit hangs onto it when you've gone through. And there I have the hole for the next one. So then you get the bits that you haven't used. My nice shiny top bit is going to go in there like so. Flip it over. And then I will be using, check I've got the right bit, and do just check. Yeah. So that will sit on there. Okay. So that will then go onto there like that. So now you'll get the awl with the funny, that end, that will go onto there. Now, do you remember this had a sticky uppy bit, but it also had a smooth side? You want to put that nice base in there on the smooth side, then layer everything up, and you'll be, I mean obviously you'll be doing this on your mat, won't look as awkward. So that just rests in there, all very nice, and if you want the extra then you can put that there. That all sits nicely, so I've got two hands to then get that. That bit then sits in the top there. Couple of little taps and that's it. That's all you need. Don't do too many. There you go. And just check, yeah. That's all snapped. And there, ladies and gents, you have, oh, hang on, I need to go back in. If that happens, just go back in. All that means, and it's a good job it happens now, is that I haven't hammered that enough. Okay, so what I will do is go back in. It's not the end of the world, so don't panic. All right, or if you're worried, put in a fresh one of those. But I was going more gentle because it kind of, you can always go back in and bash some more. So don't panic if that happens to you. Just layer everything up again, go again, doesn't matter. It just means that you didn't hammer that bit down enough. All right, so I'm going to go in with the right one because these are heavy duty. That done it? Want a fresh one. Fresh all round. But yeah, you will do it so that I should have gone fresh with both. So let's just go fresh with everything, new everything. You get, how many did you get? I think it's, can't remember. But yeah, if you do have to do it, what I'm finding is just put in a new one, complete new one, and was that a new one? I can't remember. And you will be good to go, because that has to come through. You've got to give it a little bit of welly. I underestimated the welly. I'm still learning with these. This was my my first go with them this morning. So your there we go, through all those layers. Ah, that's it. Now I'll show you the difference. Okay, let me show you the difference so that you don't do this at home. Can you see now that metal has bent over the edge? So that now won't come undone. The one that I had earlier, and that's the one that came undone. Can you see it had hardly been pushed over at all, and I just was too gentle with my hammer. That was all. But can you see the difference? Like that's got the hexagon shape on there, that one hasn't, because I've actually hammered that in properly. So I will make the mistake so that you don't have to. There we go. And now that will work a treat. There you go. I put that around the wrong way. Yeah, good. So that's that really. You've then got your snaps and everything else with this one. So again, this, like I say, was just a little prototype because somebody said it'd be great to put, what do you call it? Thingy, like vouchers and stuff. I'm going to tidy. Throw those ones in the bin. Vouchers and stuff in. So you could, yes, you can make it sort of voucher size. Now, if you are putting anything in that you want to, so I use snaps. I use the little plastic snaps. And what I've got for you, we've all seen me use these, haven't we? But I've now got the 15 starter kit. So you've got lots of different colours in there, 15 in fact. You've got all the colours, a few of those in each different colour to set you off. And then if you know you're going to use more of a certain colour, then just go in and buy those extra ones. And again, use an awl. I had a few awls left on the website. If I need to order more, I can. This one actually came with my machine, but I've been told that not everybody's does. But it's a tailor's awl, and yeah, if I need to order more, then I certainly can. Let me show you. Let me show you with the snaps. So just wherever you want your hole to be, with these lighter snaps, you can just do that until you've gone through your fabric. Decide on what colour you might like. So maybe I'll go for a bronze and work out it. You'll see with these ones you need a pokey uppy one in each end. So I'll have 2 of those, and then I'll have one like that, and then the other side always fall to the bottom, just so that you know. You have to oink them all out until you reach them. Come on. Ah, is that it? Is that it? Have I got it? Yeah. And then that's the other one that you want. Okay, so one goes out, one goes in. That's known as the male, and that's known as the female part. Okay, but you'll have your fabric bit in between. That will go on top of there with the fabric in between. Whoops. That will go in there, and when that's pushed down, that will create that bit for that to snap onto. Shall I show you? So those holes that I've made, pop your pointy end bit through, and then put your snap bit on top, and then like we had with the other one where it had like the cradle to put the rounded bit on, that's your cradle there. Then that just pushes down. This is so easy. This is the easiest thing I have ever used actually in terms of snaps. And that's one snap in. Let's make a hole and put another one that end just to show you. So if you are only making like a little snap, a little one, these wouldn't be big enough to go through all those layers of PU, but it worked. I'll show you in a minute with the prototype. And that's the thing, you know, I'm always, when I find these things, you know, you've got to try, you've got to learn. There we go. So that then will snap onto there, like that. So that's going to have that either side, and then you can just pull them apart there like that. Now, with this one, I never actually got around to finishing it. I did try going through all of those, but there were too many layers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers that it would have gone through. So what I will do with this one is just hand stitch that one in place and then pull that over. But like I say, this is the early one before I started taking. That's why you take out those cornery bits, because otherwise it gets messy at the fold. So I had to work out what shape and everything to take out there. But yeah, so I would just hand stitch that, which brings me very nicely onto our next thing. Now I have to thank Elizabeth for this, because she's a clever old stick, and I used to work with a lovely lady called Irene. Hi Irene. And loved her, always loved working with her, and then didn't know how to get a hold of her. I didn't have any contacts for her, and I kept saying, I really want to bring you these. Oh, by the way, if you buy these pliers, I've popped a pack of navy snaps for free with it, just as an introductory thing, so you've got some snaps to keep going with. But if you wanted to get those or any other colours, they're all on the website. Right, sorry, as we were. Yeah, so I keep saying I wanted to bring this because threading your needle, it's a pain, right? But with this, easy breezy. I mean, like, seriously easy. And no matter what the size. So I'm going to spin this around here so that we can have a look at it on here. Now, this is it. Okay. And it normally has a little white bit on there. So you have a choice of blue or purple. Okay. And they have the little white bit on. I take it off and I'll show you for white in just a minute. It comes to you so that it's easily stored like so, with full instructions. Take those out because I'm going to show you. Now that little white bit there is where I store my needles. So I always have a needle in there ready to go. So simply slide it out and do put it on, slide it back onto that top bit, and you are ready to go. Okay, now it's very easy. You're just going to slide that across, or slide that across. Why the two different ones? White is for fine needles, fine edge needles, and the black, just think big, black, B for big, black. Okay, so that's how I remember that one is for my bigger needles. And look, this is my one. So I actually keep one of my thimble pads on there as well, because generally I'll have to go to this before I start to hand stitch. So I keep one of those on there along with a needle in there. So let's take out this needle. But some needles, the eye's just so fine, and I refuse to believe that I need glasses. I so need glasses. I'm not gonna, yeah, no. Okay, so there it is, nice. There you go. I mean, it's so fine, totally tiny. Now, some of these needle threaders, you can only use them if they've got a certain shape eye. Absolutely not the case with this. Okay, so lay it down over there. And look, that has just pushed how can I, there you go. That has just pushed that thread through there. Okay, now how do I know it's through there? Because if I try and lift that needle, I can't. So I'm just going to pull one of those threads through, release that, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is my needle threaded. Want to see it again? Okay. Drop my needle in, and make sure that you drop it in upright. Okay, so just drop that in upright. Put this on a surface. I found that is the best way. Put it on a surface, and obviously you will be doing it looking straight at it. Check. Yep, that has gone through. That thread is through my needle, and you're done. The other thing, actually, it's come off now because I've used it so much, that I used to have was one of the little Thread Magic, the little tiny squares on there as well. So I would thread my, and then put my Thread Magic through there, but I need to get a new one for that one. Or I might treat myself to a shiny new one. So that is essentially that. Now, here's a thing. What if you're using multiple threads? Okay, there's a grey one. There's a blue one. Now I wouldn't be able to do that ordinarily. That's taken the blue one through. So then you just want to keep doing it until you get, and if you don't get it first time, just realign it until you get, there we go. There's the grey. Pull your grey thread through as well. Look at that. That has just threaded that tiny, tiny eye with 2 different coloured threads. Seriously impressive, right? Now, what happens if I come unthreaded mid-project? Okay. So, let's just stitch here, shall we? So I'm busy sewing something here. Oh, no, hang on. I've come unstitched. Let me just make sure that's not gonna, whoops. Let me just make sure that that is all. The last thing I want is to pull the whole thing out, because that's not going to be a great demo, is it at all? Right, okay, so. There. So I'm mid-project and my thread has come undone. Ugh. That is why on mine I've taken the white bit off, okay, because now all I would do is, again, oh, pull my thread through. So I'm trying to do this with, there we go, let's lay that there. You don't, it's funny, you don't want any tension on there. This is also a really old one. Oh gosh, I've just noticed actually. Mine's so old it's bent now. There we go, there it is. So that is through there like that, but it's attached to there. So I can't pull that, up through there. I've just managed to unthread it. But basically, if you take the top bit off, I've had this for years. I do need a new one now, don't I? Let me show you with a new one. Here we go. I can't tell you how many years I've had that. Must be 3 or 4 at least. Pop that in there. The other thing is, if it doesn't thread first time, have you dropped your needle in straight? Okay. Pop that. Just, if it doesn't go first time, there we go. And just keep pushing through. Pull your thread through. And then look, there it is threaded. but you can now pull it out the top, which you can't do if you keep that little white thing on. So that's kind of my top tip. I realise now that my one is ancient. There we go. So these are just fab. So that's the white side. So we did doubles, didn't we there? Now then, let me have a little look. What about embroidery skeins? Because that was, when we did the Corinne Lapierre show the other day, that was, gosh, where's the end of this? I just grabbed it, as you can see. That was my bugbear. That was when I realised that actually, potentially, I did actually need, sadly, some glasses. So again, that's full 6 strand. Let's find an embroidery needle. So if you struggle, look, straight in there, straight through, and there you go. You are ready to go. Now, here's the thing. What if, that's the other thing to think about. Hang on, let me see if I can remember how to do this. So that can go through there. If I want to bring that through like that, then what I've got is, I'll just show you there. I've got this here, so that if I want it double thread, when I cast off, when I start something, I can come through and then, oh hang on, you need to have the ends longer. That's the way to do it. It's just a smart way to start off. Hang on, let me get myself adjusted. It's trying to do everything back to front, upside down and back to front. So what you will have is, where you've looped it through, instead of just pulling, here we go, that's it, I can show you that, it's better. Instead of, when I threaded it, instead of just pulling through one strand, so that it was just one strand, I left it double, so that now, if I come through the back of my embroidery or whatever it is that I'm doing, check this out, I can then loop back through, and you can secure it into a knot. Oh, wrong way around. But you can go through. You can tell I'm not a cross stitcher, but I've seen that done, and that was very clever. So you've got that end that you can go through and do that. It's just basically, it's really clever, and you can tell I don't do lots of embroidery, but I know that sometimes that's how they have the loop to then go back through to save you having to put a knot in. If you're an embroidery person, tell me I'm not making that up. I don't think I am. I've seen it done. Definitely seen it done. Carol says the needle threader is brilliant. Can't manage without it. Oh, Anne says, don't you just love it when you sort through your stash and organise it and find a kit to make a cave quilt? Yes. And then the postie comes with the luscious parcel from Natasha, and it's Monday. Good start to the week, and that's the best start to the week. Oh, Helen's watching. Good morning, Helen. You do hand embroidery type stuff. The loop, so that you go through and you, yeah. Oh, Rachel's managed to get a needle threader. Well done, well done, well done. And April, yeah, loving the threader. If you've never seen it before, it is so impressive. You have to remember, right, when I'm demoing this, it's all, hang on, let me show you this. It's all at a funny angle. When you get it home, you won't be doing it at a funny angle. I'm sure sometimes I look really ham-fisted, and yeah, sometimes I am, because it's all back to front. You see, now where have I just put my needle? Oh. But yeah, lay your thread through there, push through there, so that, and it will spin your needle around to face the correct way. It's just so clever, so clever. And also metallic threads, anything like that, it does it. It just does it. So it's one of those things that I haven't wanted to use on air because I hadn't got it for you to buy, and I didn't. I don't think that's fair. I don't like to use gadgets that I can't supply for you, because that feels a little bit unfair. And when you put it back in the box, if you've got your instructions there, then just pop it in there. But just remember, the black is the bigger end, and the white is your fine thread. And then yeah, like mine has seen oh God, I'm trying to think how long I've had this for. It must be a good 4 years. But just take the white bit off if you're stuck mid-project and you want to take it through. Ah, there it is. Oh yeah, I did that, didn't I? Mid-project. There we go. And then, like I say, in these you've got that little white cap. Just take that off. And you can store your needles in there. And then you know where they are. So that's the needle threader. I honestly wouldn't be without mine at all. Love it, love it, love it. I think I've covered everything. I think. Gosh. Thank you ever so much for joining me this morning. We have covered snaps, we've covered PU leather, we've covered all sorts of different goodies. I'll be back tomorrow morning because it's Tuesday tomorrow. It's Textile Tuesday tomorrow. So yeah, I will be back tomorrow morning, bright and early. Got to decide what to make tomorrow now. Ha ha. Janet says, do they thread very fine needles like the EPP ones? Yes, they do. The finest. Hang on. Milliner's needles, they don't get much finer than that, do they? Let me find which one looks like it actually wants to come out of the packet. But yes, they do. They absolutely do. I can't actually get it out. Hang on. Don't look. Bad habits. I'm not sure if it says from what size, but these are Milner's needles. Let's double check that for you. Mine was a quilting needle that I had in there. Let's get some more thread. Put it back on its base. Goes in that way. There you go. Put it back on its base. Yep. There you go. That has threaded first time. That's a Milner's needle. So the Milner's needles are super tiny. These are size 5 or 10. So yeah, that's pretty small. Just trying to think if I've got anything smaller in there. I don't think I have. No, the quilting ones are size 5 to 10 as well. Yeah. So yeah, they do. Just pop that back in mine one now. I hope that helps. But yeah, pop it on its base and then pop the thread over, but don't have any tension on the thread. The minute, that was why, did you see earlier when I had it on that, when it is stitched onto there, I lifted that onto the platform so that there was no drag. You need to just be able to drape it over there. This has been my findings. Just drape it over there with no tugging, and then that will do the job. I love it. I absolutely love it, which is why I wanted to bring it to air, because I wouldn't be without mine. Any other questions? Do they have needles in there anymore? Elizabeth, they don't have needles in there anymore. No, that's for you to put one in. Elizabeth, we've already put one aside for your brother, so you don't have to worry about that. That's on us, because otherwise, if it hadn't been for you, we wouldn't have found it. So have that on us. I've got his address ready to send it. It's all packaged up, ready to go, so don't worry about that. That's done. And Susan says, I have another version, was able to use it after watching your demo. Dug it out. Oh, there you go. I always get things like that upside down the first attempt. Yeah, do you know what? It's one of those things. I don't have time to practice everything before we come to air. And also because I'm not hand embroiderer. Like Elizabeth, your what bow that you made me is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And yeah, and I absolutely treasure it. But I don't do much hand embroidery. I make felt animals, but I don't start off like that. I do a little knot. So, but I've seen that done with cross stitches where they loop through and it's all magic. I'll admit to what I know and what I don't. There you go. Elizabeth prefers the metal over plastic and the press studs. Absolutely. Well, yeah. It's they will work with your leather scraps as well, Fiona, which is great because they come. If you get the starter kit, then you get all the bits in there that you need, she says, realising that actually I've put somewhere, put that blue thing. Is that in there? I'm going to tidy up and find everything. That's what's going to happen now. So I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to tidy up and hopefully tomorrow morning all of this will magically be tidy somehow. But thank you ever so much for watching and I'll see you in the morning. Take care. Bye-bye.